Hello and welcome back to my live broadcast. I'm Shanta Prince and I help coaches to build personal brands, create high ticket offers, and get paying clients. So if you've been hanging out with me all week, you've heard me say that over and over and over again. But just in case you haven't met me yet, I wanted to make sure you know who I am and exactly what I do. Tonight, I'm talking about how to stop overthinking everything in your business, coming from a recovering overthinker. So for those of you who are a lot like me, which I do attract people who are just like me, right? So, first of all, you might be that high achieving woman and you've had a lot of amazing successes in your life. Maybe you have a couple of degrees, maybe you have some certifications, maybe you have a job that pays well, but everything that you've done in life turns out great, right? And that's just how some of us are. That's just how we're wired. We are high achievers in everything that we want to do. We want to do that thing in excellence. But what if I told you that very thing is getting in the way of you growing your business? Why? Because before you launch, you want everything to be perfect. It's got to be the bomb. You got to have all of your checks in the boxes. You got to have all of your ducks in a row. And those kind of things keep your business from growing because you're waiting for perfection. You're waiting for everything to fall in place. You're waiting for everything to be perfect because you don't put your name on anything that's not excellent, right? And so I'm always talking about the difference between excellence and the difference between perfectionism. Excellence is doing the best you can with what you have. Perfectionism is waiting for something that you don't have. So you're waiting to launch because you don't have this thing in place yet, or you're waiting to get clients because you don't have this thing yet, or you want to have your program completely done before you launch it. And those kind of things are getting in your way. So let me explain this a little bit more. So when I was just talking about the high achieving woman, I'm you, right? We're all in the same boat. And that's why I said I'm a recovering perfectionist myself. But one thing about high achieving women is that we know what we're capable of. And sometimes if we don't feel like something is our absolute best, we won't put it out, we won't launch it, we won't move that thing forward. So when I was in high school, I was in band and I played the flute for a little while, then I played the clarinet, and then I became a drum major. So one of the things that I was just talking to my husband about this a couple of days ago, or it could have been, I think yesterday we were having this conversation, and I was talking to him about how when I was in band, our summer ended 2 weeks earlier than everybody else's summer. Well, probably except for the athletes. So 2 weeks before the summer ended, guess where I was at? I was on the field rehearsing some drills so that the band could be prepared for the first game of the season. And so I was like, man, I remember being on the field the last 2 weeks of summer. The weather is still amazing. All of my friends are off doing other things and enjoying the last 2 weeks of summer while I was on the field marching, conducting, playing my instrument, whatever it was that I was doing for that season, whatever my role was. And so the thing about that is when you're doing things like that, you get that time to practice behind the scenes before the big show, because that was the whole reason why the summer ended 2 weeks earlier for me, because I had to practice so that I could get ready for the first game. That way, the entire band we're together, we're in sync, and we look great for the first show. Well, when it comes to business, you don't really get that behind the scenes practice. When it comes to growing your business, you get better and you start to look great by actually doing the work. So you don't get to just hang out behind the scenes and just, wait and practice and practice and practice. Yes, there's a lot of things that we do behind the scenes when it comes to business. There are a lot of things that we do that people don't see, but I'm talking about for those of you who are waiting until you're good enough in your mind, because the truth is you're already good enough, but in your mind, you don't feel like you're good enough yet because you don't have these things in place. And that's one of two reasons. You're a high achieving woman and you want everything to be great before you launch, or you're looking at what everybody else is doing and you think that your stuff needs to look like their stuff. And that's just not true. And so when it comes to growing your business, the way that you get better is by actually doing the work. The way that you get better at sales is by actually selling. The way that you get better at creating content is by creating content. So there's no hiding behind the scenes and practicing and practicing and practicing. You actually have to get in the game and do the work. So for those of you who are overthinking everything in your business, what I want to talk to you tonight about tonight is how to stop doing that and really get into action and move your business forward. And it's very, it sounds easy, but I know it's going to be a struggle because I struggled through it as well. But the number one way to stop overthinking things, which most likely is everything in your business, is to keep it simple. Keep it simple, because what happens is when I remember talking to one of my business coaches about this, and I talked about how I can start off with an idea. And let's say I start out with an idea like, oh, you know what? People keep asking me about this one thing. Why don't I just create a quick ebook and then I can sell it and people can buy it and they can have that problem solved pretty quickly with the purchase of an ebook. And then that ebook would turn into another idea, because then I'm thinking, oh, I can add a video to it and make it even better. Oh, I can add another worksheet to it and make it even better. And so what she said to me was, you have to be okay with just doing that thing. And I'm like, it's so true, because as that recovering perfectionism, it comes up every now and then. And so instead of me just saying, okay, I'm going to create an ebook to solve this problem quickly and easily, it turns into a whole different idea. Why? Because I'm overthinking that thing. And so what I would do is I would keep adding to it, and then I would end up not creating it at all, because I don't have enough time to create this big idea that I have. And so I would end up not doing it all. And that's what a lot of you are doing when it comes to your business. You're coming up with all of these different things that you think you need when you really don't, instead of keeping it simple. Okay. So what I'm talking about is, if you're saying, oh, I need to be able to use this system, or I don't have this system, or I can't pay for this system, or I don't even know how to work this technology. You don't need a lot of technology to start serving people. Now, the one of the good things that came out of being isolated and really socially distancing ourselves from others is pretty much everybody knows how to use Zoom, right? So if you know how to use Zoom, you could actually start getting some paying clients. So if you're like, oh, I need to use all of these different systems, you don't. If you can use Zoom, you can start serving people. If you can set up your payment process, and you can start serving people. That's really, those are really the two. Well, you actually need three things to start making money. You need your process down, or your program. You need a way to get paid, and you need a way to deliver. Right? That's really all you need to start to be able to start making money in your business. And so overthinking looks like, oh, I need to set up Kajabi, or I need to set this up, or I need a website. I don't have a website yet, or I need a sales page. I don't have a sales page yet. And you're going in circles in your mind, and you're never moving forward because you're constantly in a state of overthinking. Let me tell you, it's exhausting. Overthinking is exhausted. You know it, and I know it. And so when it comes to growth, you really have to step out of that overthinking, because overthinking brings overwhelm, right? As soon as you start overthinking, the overwhelm comes right behind it. And you can literally think your way out of an amazing idea. You can literally think your way out of serving people, because you've got all these different ideas and you want everything to be perfect before you step forward and really dive into serving people. So when I was a while ago, I was listening to a coach, and she was talking to people who wanted to start their coaching businesses. And somebody asked her a question, and they said, I'm very new to coaching, and I don't really know exactly everything that I need to get started. What do you recommend that I use so that I can get started? And so the coach said to her, well, I can recommend one system to you right now that you need in order to get started. And she recommended Kajabi. She said, I recommend Kajabi. Now, if you don't know what Kajabi is, it's an all-in-one system that I use every single day. I love, I'm a huge Kajabi fan. But Kajabi has an affiliate program where if you're recommending people and you're marketing Kajabi to other people, they give you commission based on that. And I really felt like that's the reason why this coach recommended Kajabi to this person, is because she gets a commission off of that. However, I do not recommend that system to people unless their business is prepared for it. So, for example, if I have a client who's just getting started and maybe they don't have a lot of business income coming in yet, maybe they're working that full-time job and they want to be able to use their income to do other things. They're trying to get that cash flow going. I'm probably not going to recommend Kajabi to them because for a person like that, Kajabi can be pricey. Now, of course, now some people are in position to be able to pay for it. However, I'm not recommending that system if that person is not ready for it yet. If they're just getting started, Kajabi could be a huge leap. So I said all that to say that part of that is the reason why so many of you are overthinking, because you're looking at me and I'm using Kajabi, and you're looking at this coach and they're using Kartra, and everybody's using all these fancy systems, and you feel like, well, I don't have that, so I can't move forward. I can't grow my business because I don't have this. And it's just not true, right? Remember what I said, keep it simple. If you can use Zoom, you can start serving people today, right? As soon as we get off this video, you can actually start serving people. You can actually take clients from all around the world. Technology has put us in position to be able to do that. So if you're one of those people, maybe you can't afford, you actually can't afford to use some of the more fancy systems, and you're in a place to be able to do that. However, if you're like, listen, I do not want to sit here and learn all of this technology. Well, in your case, you would use what you know how to use. Zoom, right? We all know how to use Zoom by now. Use what you know how to use so that you can get unstuck and start really serving your clients so that you can grow your business. So if you're overthinking in the technology space, use what you know how to use, okay? We really got to get out of this mindset of looking at what everybody else is doing and thinking that we need to do that thing because these 20 people over here are doing it. Excellence is doing the best that you can with what you have right now. And if you're one of those people who you get all tangled up in technology, use what you know how to use, okay? The other thing is I understand, oh my goodness, do I understand this so well, that those of us who are high achieving women, because of the success that we had and everything that we touch becomes successful, business can be scary because we know that this is something that's like, okay, I don't know this as well as I know that thing. That's the place that I was in when I got out of the Navy. When I was in the Navy, I knew my job very well because I had been doing it for 10 years. I had been in the Navy for 10 years, and I was very confident in my job because I knew my stuff. However, when I started in business, it was a completely new thing for me, and I had to learn some things. But the way that I learned some things is by actually doing it. And I made a lot of mistakes, but those mistakes made me stronger and better. But on the flip side of things, I also held myself back from doing a lot of things because it wasn't perfect. It wasn't perfect. And I'm a recovering overthinker. And so I was stuck for a very long time in overthinking things. Even sometimes when I'm having conversations with my coaches, even today, I'm like, you know what? I've been overthinking that thing all this time. I've been totally overthinking this thing. But now I'm in a place where I recognize it. Okay, wait a minute. I'm really overcomplicating this situation, and I could really get it done very, very quickly and very easily if I focus on keeping it simple. So for example, what does keeping it simple look like? Let's say you want to launch a program and you're like, okay, I'm ready to do this thing, but what do I need to get started? An example of keeping it simple would be if maybe you're like, listen, I don't really want to use Zoom. You could easily get all of your set up your payment processor, price your offer, and when you get some sales, you can add all of your clients into a Facebook group and you can go live in Facebook group and serve your clients. Okay. Very simple, right? I didn't say you need to set up all these complicated systems. You need to set up a funnel. You need to set up this. Everybody's like, well, how do I set up a funnel? And you're only saying that because you hear everybody else doing that. But what if I told you I have clients right now who do not have fancy funnels and they're closing sales on a consistent basis without a fancy funnel? Keep it simple, right? Okay, so for those of you who are inside of the Facebook group, what I want to do is I want to give you an opportunity to get on the phone with me for a free 30-minute strategy call. If you're looking to grow your coaching business in 2022, you want to get more clients, you want to understand the sales process, and you really want to grow going into 2022 and beyond, I would love to book a free consultation with you. Go ahead and tap that link to schedule your free call with me. If you're not watching me inside of my Facebook group, I want you to come on over to the Facebook group. The link that you see is the link to come on over to the Facebook group and join us, or you can just go to the search and type in Purpose Driven Coaches and Entrepreneurs and come on over and join us. So thank you to those of you who have been watching live. Thank you to those of you who are watching the replay and those of you who have shared. I will be back tomorrow to talk to you more about all things branding and business. I hope you have a wonderful night, and I'll be seeing you again.